Welcome to Pool Elementary. I'm your pool pro Justin, and today we'll be doing a full replacement on a cartridge filter on an indoor spa. Due to the weather outside, we'll be definitely working indoors. So come along and we'll get this started. As you can see, it's got leaks. The drain has been completely stripped out. Also, as you can see, this one plumbs, the outlet plumbs into the back, where our new filter is going to come out the side. It's going to come out the sides. So we're going to have to take this outlet line, cut her right in here, and angle it back this way. No problem. Let's get started. So after the filter is all lined up and we know this side's gonna slip right into our union that attaches to the filter, I'm gonna go ahead and spin this union off. So that way we can work with it and glue it on there. Right here I have just some abrasive mesh cloth. Primer for PVC will work, and glue wise I like to use a medium build. What we'll do is prime the inside of this piece, go into the filter, and we'll prime this piece here. Just give it some nice swirls, get it cleaned up. So the glue, give it a spin on the inside, and we'll go around 2-3 times on the outside. And I always give these about an 1/8 of a turn. Makes them go on a little bit better. Hold her for a good 10 to 30 seconds. If you let go too soon, sometimes these pieces want to kick back out. Now we can make sure that this is gonna line up. We know our pipe's got plenty of play, so it's just gonna go right in there. And these unions on these filters, you always only want to go hand tight on them. There's a collar in here that holds this union I'm spinning. Sometimes those will snap if you go any tighter. With that, it's glued. All right, we know we've got lots of play in this one, so we'll kind of space it out right in the middle of the play. And here I've got a piece cut where I can just kind of line it up and give her a little mark where we're going to want to cut. So with that being there, I know that this takes 1 1/4 inches. It's going to slip on. Here I've got my cable saw, and we're going to work it right on in there to our mark. Give her a little bit of, start working it a little bit. Oh, she cut through there, so we're a little off. It's not going to matter. And with our abrasive cloth, and take all those burrs off. This a little bit of this abrasive cloth. So, and we're going to prime both pipe and the inside of our 90-degree angle to the filter. Go right in, give this 2-3 rings. Rings inside there. And now we're going to slip this on. We're going to bring our filter back in, making sure our inlet and outlet sides are correct on their sides. And you'll want to tighten this thing on all the way here so we can get an accurate measurement. So now that we've got our 90 set in place to line her up, and now that I'm looking at this end, this is 1.5 inches. So if we were to glue our piece in, it's not going to go on this side. So we're going to have to take what they call a coupling or slip to slip, 2-inch, and this piece will actually slip and glue over top of this piece. Then we can slip in our 2-inch line to this piece and to this piece. So let's go ahead and glue this on first, then we can get an accurate measurement with our tape for this piece. So let's go ahead and take this union off. And we'll hit this outside with some abrasion. This piece. We'll hit her with some primer. Set the primer end down so I remember which side's primed. And we'll just go over this outside here. Put some glue in there. Outside, and then we can just slip her on. Now we can take this piece, thread it back on, make sure it's nice and tight. This is where we're going to get our accurate measurement by placing it inside, catching the rim. So it's actually 1 1/8 inches. That one's 1 3/8 inches. So it'd be 2.5 inches, and then just your gap in here would give us the proper pipe size. So let's get her lined up. So we'll measure the distance between these two pipes, which looks like 2 inches. And we'll add 2.5 inches to that. So we'll cut a piece for 4.5 inches, and that'll give us our spread for these two pieces. So we're going to take these off. Like so. Grab our PVC primer. And prime this piece up nice. Glue this. PVC glue this outside. And quarter turn. Onto our last piece to glue. Prime the inside of this real well. And prime this outside. So that's dry. Get some good glue on the outside of this one. Get glue in there. And then just take it, twist, and hold it for, get her in a good place. And thread on our unions. once again, you want these hand tight. Our filter's in place. We have an air relief valve and a pressure gauge. These filters are real simple to use. It's a Pentair Clean and Clear. It's got 2 tabs on each, one on each side. Just pull them up, give it a spin, top comes out, and the lid comes off. Inside, you've got your 100 square foot filter. It just slides in and out, so you can spray it off when needed. And on the inside, just a regular canister. So we'll slide it back in. We know it's clean. And our top piece just goes on. There's a O-ring right here. You always want to lube those up with a Teflon silicone, or Magic Lube works great. Pentair also makes an O-ring lubrication. This O-ring's already lubed up. So we'll just push this on. And then we have our locking collar. Just like we took it off, quarter turn, and those tabs are gonna lock in place. So with our filter came our hardware kit. Open it up, some instruction manuals, probably some warranty stuff, some Teflon tape, if you need it. All we're gonna need is a pressure release valve, which is O-ringed, lubed up with silicone lube. And that one's just gonna screw in, like so. We have our pressure gauge. When we go to fire this up, I like to let this glue on these pieces that we had to plumb in dry for at least 12 hours. I usually leave them overnight, so we'll be returning tomorrow to fire this up. And basically, once we get it rolling, we'll be able to see what our starting pressure is on this gauge, because we know the filter is clean. And then this one's got a handy little thing where we can set our start to our clean pressure, and then it tells us at 10 pounds PSI that we should clean our filter. I like to do 3 wraps, making sure that we're not covering that hole down there, because that's where our pressure is going to go. And then we're going to thread this in, and we need to catch 3 to 5 of the threads. So we'll get it started. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and we'll go for 4. All right. So we're back here the next morning. Our glue's dried overnight. So the next step is to prime the pump, get her fired up, and we'll check her one last time for leaks. If there's no leaks, we'll mop up and clean up the place. So now that the pump's primed up, see it's got a good prime. And we notice our pressure gauge has come up, so we know that it's filling up. We'll turn our pressure relief valve counterclockwise to release the air. So we know the air's out, and our clean filter starting pressure is at about 13, 14. So we know that if we set our start there, we should always clean our filter by the time it gets up 10 pounds of pressure, or at 23 pounds. And then this gauge also has that reminder that points to where your starting point is on a clean filter, And it got an arrow reminding you 10 pounds of pressure up, clean filter. Pretty simple. So we're gonna go ahead and run our fingers under everything, check for leaks. So I've examined everything and we have 0 leaks. So all that's left is to mop and shop back up our mess and we're out of here.